I'm chairman of Commerce and Labor, and my vice chair is another union brother, Matt Patton of the laborers, who, again, with his leadership and myself working together, I can tell you again, once again, you know what? If it goes through Commerce and Labor, it better have the union backing. Yesterday we were honoring our mayor talking about project of labor agreements. Resolution 58, which I sponsor personally, is one that will encourage the use of project labor agreements all over the state of Ohio, not just in Canton, Ohio.
When Mike sent me this agreement about a month ago, I sent it out to the leaders around the state of the different district councils, and there's a lot of activity going on in the state because of what you people have done here locally. And I want to commend the city council and the mayor too for not falling for the myth that these projects add 22% to the cost of the project. There is absolutely not one study to indicate that a project labor agreement or prevailing wage adds to the cost of a project. And in fact, there are many studies from all parts of this country that indicate that prevailing wage actually is done cheaper than the open bid process to the open shop contractors. So when you're approached by some of these so-called organizations that tell you that prevailing wage and project labor agreements add to the cost of the project, please ask him for the documentation that would support that. And I think you'll find there is none, because we have searched high and low. We have asked everybody that has made that statement to produce that documentation for us, and it does not exist. It's just a myth. And for this city council, and I know there was some pressure, I know there were people here telling them that it was going to add 22% to the cost of the projects. For them not to buckle under that pressure to that myth, I think says a lot about their character and what they believe in. And for the mayor to support that along with the city councilman, you're to be commended for those actions. And we appreciate it because we've been under that attack from their national organizations and state organizations constantly. Project labor agreement is about good governance. It makes sense to hire local people, to keep that tax base here, to be able to afford homes that further increase the tax base, pay for the school systems that your children attend. This is just good governance. It's no more than that, and it's good to see that at least a group assembled as city council and the mayor have come to understand that, and you're to be commended for the work. So thank you from the state building trades. What you've done here has made my job a little easier, that we can get these kind of project labor agreements in place around the state, put our people back to work, keep our tax base here locally, and hopefully we can get out of this economic morass that we've been engulfed in lately. So thanks for inviting me here, Michael. I appreciate the opportunity, and good luck and work safe.
Brothers and sisters, you know, I want to introduce Mayor Healy. This is what this is all about. He was, when he was running for mayor, he came to the building trades and said he would work with us to try to secure this type of agreement, and he's come through for us, and we want to thank him. So, and the mayor and Canton City Council, so you know, have determined that the continued growth and health of the construction industry in the city of Canton and Stark County is vital to the growth and stability of the general economy of the city of Canton. By enacting this ordinance by City Council to permit project labor agreements and responsible contracting criteria, this was a monumental movement in the history of Stark County community and will help to ensure quality construction projects for years to come. The nearly 4,000 men and women of our East Central Ohio Building Construction Trades Council would like to thank the Mayor and City Council for their support. Mayor Healy, if you'd come to the podium. Mayor, on behalf of our East Central Ohio Building Construction Trades Council and all labor, we'd like to present this plaque to you, and it reads, in recognition for your support of Project Labor Agreement, Canton Ordinance Chapter 105, for the skilled men and women of the Building Construction Trades Unions, presented to William J. Healy, Mayor of Canton, East Central Ohio Building Construction Trades Council. Mayor, really honored today to be here
and to talk about the project labor agreement and what that means to everybody in this room, and more importantly, to the brothers and sisters of the builder trades and labor workers all over the state of Ohio. This is something that, as Mike had mentioned, when I was campaigning, I sat down with the leaders from the different unions, and we talked about what I thought should be going on in the city of Canton and what their interests were. And one of the things that we had a long discussion on was project labor agreements and what that meant and how important that was to their members. And I made a commitment at that meeting that I would do everything in my power to make that a reality in Canton, Ohio. And I'm proud today to stand up here and say that we got there, we did it, and that's exciting. But there's so many people that have been involved in this, and I have to tell you, there was several things that happened when I was running and when I became mayor that we had discovered in reference to the deficiencies in the way that the city was run in reference to recognizing local labor. It's so important, as you've heard from the other speakers here, how critical it is for our community to have local laborers work, for the quality of work, to meet budget, to get the work done on time or early, and more importantly, to keep those resources in our community and to provide opportunities and jobs for the members here that deserve it. And so that's something that's very important to me personally, and I know it's important to the entire administration and to council. When I was fortunate enough to go to Columbus and represent this area as a legislator, and Representative Yuko and I came into the same class together, it became very clear that there were specialists in the legislative body that when you had an issue, you knew who you were going to call. And when there was a question about labor, it was Kenny Yuko who got the phone call. And it's no question why he's the chairman of the committee he's in charge of now, because he is the voice of labor in the legislative body. And also, I might add, being a representative for District 7, his license plate is 007. So, so we always knew he was our special agent for labor. But in Canton, when I came into the mayor's office and I got to know our council, the other thing that became very clear to me was that Joe Carbini was our Kenny Yuko of City Council. He was the labor's voice. And so when it was time to put this ordinance together, we worked on it quite a bit. Once we got it into the form that we believed was going to be a good final version or close to a final version, I called Joe up and asked him if he would sit down and talk to me about working with this. And he didn't hesitate. Absolutely, I'm on board, what can I do? And I asked him if he would introduce this ordinance and lead the way through council. And he was very, very excited and happy to do so. He took the lead on this thing, and it went through with flying colors. And when it passed through council and I was able to sign it into law, that was a very, very happy day for me. And so I do want to recognize Joe Carbini, who is unfortunately having health issues, not able to be here today. But when you get a chance, reach out and say hello and thank you to Joe, because it was a team effort to get this done. Again, I'm honored to be a part of this and excited to be able to stand here today. One other thing I'd like to share with you is, and that is that since this has passed, I have received many phone calls from folks and friends in the legislature and others around the state asking for information about this ordinance. How does it work? Can I get a copy of it? What did you do to make it pass? How did you make that happen? Matt Stelazzi, who is the Speaker Pro Tem in the legislature, asked me for a copy of this last Thursday, and he delivered it to the mayor and council in Toledo last Friday, because he wanted to share it with them to see if they can work on getting this thing moved in that town. I know that was it Portsmouth? Portsmouth has already got a copy of this and trying to move forward with it. So this could be the start of something that supports organized labor, builders trade labor for communities all over the state of Ohio. And again, I'm honored to be a part of that, and hopefully we can make that happen.